Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's we're going to be looking at the Honda Prologue. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Larich Miller Honda here in Murray for giving me some time with this Prologue. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Powering this is an 85 kilowatt hour battery pack, giving it 281 miles of range and then 340 horsepower and 325 pound-feet of torque. Now before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So taking a look at the hood, you can see it's raised there on either side, and then popping down below, really like the little indicators there with the headlights. I think that's pretty cool. And then you'll see it's blacked out, and I would say that this front fascia is really solid when it comes to design for an electric car. A lot of electric cars just look awkward. I mean, you can let me know if I'm wrong in the comments below, but I think this actually looks really good. Now our tire wheel setup is 255 by 60 by 19 in the front and over in the rear. And you can see here with the wheels, you've got a 6-spoke design. You've got these big chunky fender flares. Got that cladding there on the side, blacked out mirror caps, and there's a side profile. And now this leads us to the key fob. We have our lock and unlock function, remote start. You've got the Honda logo there on the back, and yes, it is a GM key fob. We've got the Chevy Honda. Anyways, it is manual for the hatch opening. You can see we've got some storage underneath the load floor there, and you can fold down the seats if you want more storage as well. But yeah, pretty big cargo area. I mean, this is similar in size to, I'd say, like a CR-V RAV4 type vehicle. Maybe a little bit bigger, but Honda there on the back. Love the taillights. Really cool design there. And there's the rest of the rear. Now I've got keyless entry. Popping inside. See the cloth trim down below. Same thing with the seats. And there's quite a bit of space back here. Easy to get in. Legroom's good. Got a little storage pocket. Got some vents here. Storage down below. USB ports below that as well. And then with the roof line, yeah, the headroom's good. And then this leads us up front where, see again, soft touch here, down below with all the cloth trim. All of your window controls front to are automatic. Get your mirror adjustments, blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. It's the cloth trim with the seats. Adjustments there on the side. Got more cloth trim there as well. You can see with the lane departure down below. Taking a look at the steering wheel, a little bit more basic with the trim, but it does have stuff like your cruise control. Got a little paddle for the regen. You got this for the center screen. Turn signal, windshield wiper stalk, column shifter. Digital gauge cluster on the center, which you can change the screen view. Kind of a cool little doodad, if you ask me. But overall, it shows you the information you need to see, like your range, for example, off to the side, and what you're doing with the battery system. Rear view camera in reverse, trajectory lines turn with the steering wheel, good resolution. And then infotainment system responds quickly. You've got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, shortcut bar there on the side, a little volume control as well. And then we've got our dual zone climate controls here at the bottom. Heated seats with this as well. Got some USB ports there. Lots of storage here. There's more underneath as well. It's open there. Some cup holders. Got our phone charging pad there. Tons of storage space inside. Nice cloth trim here. More on the top. See down below. And then it's solid. Rear view mirror and no sunroof. Quite a bit of glare, but anyways, this one stickers for $52,250. Charging port there on the side too. Let's see how it performs. Well, let us set off in the Prologue. See how the what should we call this? We gotta mix up the names in a creative way. The Honda, the Chevy Honda, the Honda Prologue. I kind of like that one. Because if you just do Each in the front of Chevy. Heavy. What do you drive? I drive a heavy. So I think I like Shonda more. Shonda. We'll go with that. Let me know if you guys can think of anything more creative than me. Not hard to beat though. So this platform I really like, and we now have the numbers for 2024. General Motors, let's see how the regen, oh, the regen paddle's aggressive. General Motors is the second biggest EV seller in the US market now, behind Tesla, which I don't think is a shocker whatsoever, because I mean, you look at all the other OEMs and nobody's really competing against GM. Like Ford half donkeyed it, we'll call it that, when it comes to the Lightning and the Mach-E. The Lightning, not nearly enough range for electric pickup truck. And then the Mach-E is actually pretty, I would say it's a pretty solid vehicle overall. I just think that it's limited in appeal, right? But yeah, GM just has so many, and that's the thing to know, is GM has so many different electric cars. I mean, you've got the Hummer EV, you've got this whole lineup. So yeah, it makes sense as to why they're selling so many of them. And the other thing to note is, I think when you drive the GM's platforms, they do really well for an EV. There's a lot of things that I like about this more than Tesla. I'd say definitely in Tesla's, with their new Model 3 that I recently reviewed, they've definitely brought things up with their interior game and everything, but it still is a little bit more premium feeling. Man, that's weird using the paddle. And just how this drives, and the acceleration's pretty darn good. But yeah, the suspension is comfortable. This actually is a really sharp turning radius. This one thing that is nice about EVs is you don't have axles or anything that are dragging you down when it comes to turning, and so really sharp turning radius. There's just a lot to like about the drive. And then the range is, although not groundbreaking by any means, reasonable enough. So overall, I like this packaging. What I will say is, I think stylistically, because I've now reviewed the Lyric, I've reviewed the Acura, I can't remember the ZDX, that's what the name is. And I've also reviewed the Blazer EV. We're fine, don't worry. And I'll say that this one, they all drive pretty much the same, by the way, but this one looks the best on the outside, and then the Lyric from Cadillac looks the best on the inside. So that's kind of my take on that with these vehicles. But yeah, I said this in another review, I think it's super smart for Honda to do this. Instead of being like Toyota, where you offer a really crappy EV, the BZ4X, Honda is going, you know what, instead of spending crazy amounts of money into a market that's just not there yet, let's pair up with someone who has spent crazy money. And yeah, I think it's a win-win, because GM ultimately gets to produce more vehicles, so they make money that way, and then Honda gets to have an EV, right? They get to have an EV, so that if someone is die-hard, like you gotta have an EV, you know, Honda's not gonna lose them as a customer, right? They've got something to sell that person. So I think it's smart. I think it's a smart decision on a market that's just not big enough for it to be feasible for more than just a few automakers to put a lot of money into it. It'll be interesting to see how the EV market evolves with we'll just call it what it is with its current stagnation, right? It's not really growing in terms of volume at this point. It's just kind of staying the same. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. That's all.